Richard Kumadoe is a security analyst. He's joining us on Zoom right now. So Kumadoe, the troubling takeaway for me is the fact that with all these cases as we are seeing, nobody, at least on record, has been prosecuted for the death of these people, is it?
Definitely, yes. And that is the most troubling aspect of it. Number two is also to make the point that our elections and some aspect of our elections is too violent, and it continues to be violent. And we need to find a solution to it and find out why our elections predominantly, some aspect of it is violent, and what are we not doing right. Number three, we want to thank IGP Yohonu, Christian Tete Yohonu and his team have done a good job, and they broke down the myth surrounding the elections and election-related violence. The speed at which they put this report together, based on intelligence and investigations, I believe if we task them to hold the perpetrators accountable, they will be able to do it in all aspects. And where there are challenges, they will inform the general public. But here is the thing. Every election in this country is governed by law, which we predominantly call the CI. There are three things the CI does. It outlines the election procedure, and it defines the election processes and provides remedies where there are discrepancies or conflicts. What we haven't done right, which the Minister of Interior hammered, was the procedure. Anytime the procedure is circumvented and the processes are contravened, you are asking for trouble. So that is what we did, particularly in the 2020 election and some aspect of 2024. Watch back again and see the recent election we had at Akwatia. The recent election we had at Akwatia should be the standard. Why is it a standard? IGP Christian Tete Yohonu and his men virtually conducted the election. Apart from filling in the figures and announcing the results to the general public, you saw the display. They were not just there to show strength, but they were there to make sure that the aspect of our elections that usually get strained and result in violence do not exist. What is the point I'm making here? To every reaction, there's a cost. And to the extent that you are going to have elections and the conduct of the election and the election managers will not do their job properly, you are going to have the second people who are the actors of this election, who are the constituents or the voters, they will agitate. And if you have law enforcement officers who are happy trigger people, backed by politics in most times, they will open fire, knowing very well that they will not be held accountable. And once people are not held accountable as a nation, then you are creating the premises for people to rationalize their bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies in society. That is to kill people and walk away. So that is where we are, Alfred, in what the Minister of Interior has enumerated today this afternoon.
But it even gets more troubling when a number of these cases involve the same people who are supposed to maintain law and order. I'm talking about the security personnel, isn't it? I mean, quite a number of the death cases, they are at the center of this perpetration.
Definitely, they hold the guns. They hold the guns, and they provide safety and they provide security. But the aspect of the result of the report, you need to find out when the minister said procedure. That word procedure is a procedure breach on the part of the security agencies, on the part of the Electoral Commission, and on the part of the voters. Because these are the three people within every chain in an election procedure. And if you have security officers who know that they can kill people and get away with it, they will breach the procedure. It's all backed by politics. And I'm telling you, if you take away the politics out of it, and these law enforcement officers knows that they can be held accountable, and the conductors of the election, which is the Electoral Commission, knows that any lackadaisical attitude and ineffective procedure will lead to agitation and people's life will be on the line, then we are holding ourselves accountable across board. Because after, what would have been the situation? Take a typical situation like Odododio or Ablekuma North or Ablekuma South, or take a particular situation like any of the red flags in this country. If you do not have the law enforcement officers, what are you going to do? What the report also did not say, or the report said it, but it was little on that one, was the law enforcement officers who have also been injured, was the law enforcement officers who have also been shot at, was the law enforcement officers who are also carried wounds as a result of election functions they have performed in this country. So the question we ask is, those who are supposed to provide security that are killing us, they are also being killed and they are also being shot at. Who are the people behind who give some of these instructions, and why are they not being called out, and why are they not being prosecuted because of politics and they know they can get away with it? What is the point I'm making? If the Electoral Commission cannot conduct the election, let's give the elections to the Ghana Police Service. And you saw what Christian Tete Yohono did at Akotia in that particular election, for which some of us spent a number of days and number of hours there. You saw the police. They virtually conduct the election from beginning to the end. And we did not record a single bullet being fired.
I mean, well, yes, but then again, will it not be
a procedure? That is what we need to be discussing.
But you see, will it not be far-fetched to just use a single constituency elections to make a generalized statement of how the police service can do? Take into consideration, one, they have issues with the limited number of personnel. The number of personnel they deployed in Akwatia alone, they cannot deploy the same number of police personnel across 276 constituencies on election day, the general elections. So those are two different situations. But I can give it to you.
That is great. That is great. But you remember that at Akwatia, that was only police. The immigration was not part of it. The fire service was not part of it. The prison was not part of it. Yeah, I agree with you to a large extent. But those who conduct the election and those who create the inefficiencies, when you take the 2024 election, I have followed this election in this country from 1992. In 2024, as at 9 a.m. in the morning or 9:30, check how many constituencies were announced by the Electoral Commission. When you create a hold-up and you add control measures and layers to the election, and you create a suspense in the end, you are creating a situation where the voters will agitate. And when they agitate, they are coming on crash with the police. And if you have police who are happy lot and the military officers who are happy trigger people, you are creating problems.
Okay.
So I'm saying that I'm not holding brief for the law enforcement officers, but those who conduct the election, the Electoral Commission, what has been their role in all these things?
But
and
then
what
again,
has been their responsibility when things go bad? Alfred, let me give you another example.
Because of time.
Hold on.
Yes, just because of time. I just wanted to quickly conclude on this because of time. Now, you recall that there was this IASO West Worgon Commission of Inquiry. They produced a white paper. Now, the minister is saying that the white paper's recommendations should be implemented. If that had been done years ago, at least it could have prevented some of these deaths we saw in 2024 at the least, isn't it? Quickly.
Definitely, that is what I said, that not punishable of offenses, rationalize bad behavior and produce and promote antisocial tendencies in society. And I've also made the point so strong that some of these guys are backed by politics, and politics wouldn't want anybody to be punished, particularly when it's related to them. But you remember, one of the accusations against the Ghana Police Service at the Ablekuma, where we went for the rerun, was that the police was not providing the cover for the election officers to collect the results. And you saw what happened at the Tesano police station. And you saw what happened at other places. I'm just saying that those who conduct election in this country bear as much responsibility as the frontline police officers and the voters in this election, because it's a shared responsibility. And we need to be holding ourselves accountable. That is the only way we are going to develop ourselves and develop this democracy after.
And rightly so. I appreciate your time. Thank you. This is Kumadoe, security analyst. This is Ghana Tonight.